everybody, and welcome to round 20 for the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship here at 2023 at Knockhill. We've got some news to bring you. As we saw and commentated on live, the ride height failure has been confirmed, which means that both Tom Ingram and Tom Chilton have been disqualified from the results of race number 1, which now gives us Jake Hill as the winner after 27 laps, Andrew Watson in second, his best ever result in the touring cars, Stephen Jelly going into third position as well, with Ricky Collard in fourth position. It's the same results as what we see here for the grid for race 2. So it's Ricky Collard fourth. Ash Sutton now finishes fifth and keeps the championship lead. Aaron Taylor-Smith ahead of Ronan Pearson. Then George Gamble, Mikey Doble, Daniel Lloyd round out the top 10. Colin Turkington fights back for 11th from Dexter Patterson. Rob Huff now 13th. 2 extra points for Dan Camish and Nick Holstead. Adam Morgan, Jade Edwards, Sam Osborne, Jack Butel, Michael Crees all out of it. The drivers who failed to finish but still start on this grid for race 2. Dowell de Leon. Then we get Aidan Moffat, Rory Butcher, Josh Cook, Dan Rowbottom, Tom Ingram and Tom Chilton. Now, those last two getting disqualified, so they start 26th and 27th on the grid as well. In terms of the championship, it now puts Ash Sutton in front. He is now on 271 points, and he is 19 clear of Tom Ingram, who is on 252. Jake Hill now moves closer, 237. Turkington 229. Camish 214 as well. So I think Omi as well, we were expecting that change to come, but it really has thrown everything up a little bit. And we had Ingram leading the title. Now he's back to second, and Sutton once again gets away with a poor race.
Yep. So Sutton getting away with Sutton being able to get away with that poor race there, but Sutton really should have been punished a little more, shouldn't he? After also taking out Josh Cook as well, but yeah, hopefully it's going to be another cracking race. We had a brilliant race 1, which kind of sets the expectations high for race 2. Race 2, I think, is a bit of a guarantee to be fun, but I think race 2 will also have a lot of chaos and have a lot of action for us, especially after a bit of the mixed grid from race 1, after all of the chaos that happened in race 1. So we've got a bit of a mixed grid, so it's going to be an absolute cracker.
It's going to be great as well. So the cars are going to be heading to the track as well. It's drying at the moment, 19.1 degrees track temperature. Let's head over to Steve Ryder to get the latest.
Lights out, blast off at Knockhill. Great getaway by Ash Sutton. Out wide goes Sutton, through goes Cook, they touch. Josh Cook takes the lead. Round the outside comes Sutton, there's contact, and off goes Cook. He's heading for the tyres. Josh Cook off the road, into the gravel, into retirement.
Sutton comes in the pits. Too late.
Tom Ingram wins race 1 at Knockhill.
That is a fail. That is a fail.
2 hours on from all that mayhem, it's touring car time again, and we're still trying to sort out the results from round 19. This is the confirmation as we have it at the moment. There has been one further tweak to that result. Ash Sutton has moved from 5th down to 6th after taking a 1-second penalty in the company of Aaron Taylor-Smith. So we have a winner, Jake Hill, who took the victory ahead of Andrew Watson, who deserves credit for his extraordinary second place. This is what it's done to the championship table. And Ash Sutton, who at one point this afternoon thought he might be trailing the championship by 6 points, is now leading it by 18 from Tom Ingram and Jake Hill. And Paul O'Neill is here. The other headline we have to report is the sun is shining as well. So we fear the worst in terms of the weather. But my goodness, this does feel like a turning point in the championship campaign.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? But it's turned from Tom Ingram leading the championship back to Ash Sutton having quite a healthy lead now. There's a lot to play for. With this circuit the way it is now for this next race, I would be so worried if I was a driver, because it's going to be like a Scalextrics track and you're going to have to stay on the dry line. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, and maybe a time for Ronan Pearson to shine as well. Scottish driver in 5th place there, and he's going to go flat out as well. Lot going on, lot to talk about.
Yeah, slight delay around the circuit. They're just sorting out some of the infrastructure problems around the circuit. Shouldn't be too long. Let's pop down to Louise, who's got one of the great Scottish touring car champions, John Cleland, with the down.
I was just going to point out to you what the delay was down to. It's one I've never come across before, actually. I don't know whether you can see the cables running across the top of the circuit there. We just had a recovery truck coming in with a flatbed truck coming in with one of the Porsches that stopped in the earlier race on board. Unfortunately, it's taken down that cable. So you can see we've got a little bit of a temporary fix at the moment, but they're working on a permanent fix. But that's delayed all of the cars coming into the pit lane and therefore getting out onto the grid. So as you say, I've hunted down that very famous Scottish racing driver, John Cleland, who, well, let's face it, John Cleland's always going good for a chat, so we could probably fill about 10 minutes here if needs be. But have you ever seen anything like this? It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate that I'm not sure the guy with the truck realised that there was a big hook about to take out all the commentary, the lights, everything. The worst thing that could happen here is there's no light gantry, so maybe we'll have to start on an old-fashioned Union Jack or a Scottish Saltire. Who knows?
It'd just be like the old times. You and Tim remember that well, don't you?
Yeah, that was really unusual. But anyway, we're about to have another good race. But that first race was phenomenal.
It really was quite something, wasn't it? Just give us your thoughts on it.
Well, it's a long time since I watch all the touring car rounds now. I tape them all, watch them. It's the first time I've seen a wet-ish race. And it's a challenge because the top 8 guys stayed out on slicks. And a slick, when it's really warm, can dissipate quite a lot of water. As long as you all stay out, you're on the same tyre, that's fine. But as soon as one out of that batch disappeared, which happened, then everybody had to do exactly the same thing. But yeah, I mean, challenging conditions. It's not an easy track in the dry, but in the wet, you have to be absolutely precise.
As you say, you know, want everybody to be doing the same thing, but the higher you are up the field, so the likes of Ash Sutton, it's kind of the most difficult call for him, really, isn't it?
It's an impossible call for Ash. He's leading the race. He knows that he really should have wets on it instead of slicks. He can see round about and he can see the weather's probably going to get worse. But the further back on the grid you are, the better chance you've got of gambling because you've really got nothing to lose. And that point at which he had to come in, I'd have come in the lap before rather than come in when the safety car came in. That would have given a better chance to get back out in time, back on the tail of the crocodile and really go for it. But benefit of hindsight's a great thing.
Well, to be honest, I had a chat with him straight afterwards and he said, I should have come in a lap earlier. So you're thinking the same thing there. I mean, a big beneficiary, obviously, is Jake Hill inheriting the win with Tom Ingram being disqualified from that race. I mean, he's set fair for this next one, isn't he?
Yeah, the ride height situation, which I believe is what it failed on, is very difficult. In a slick race, what you do is you set it down as low. There's a minimum height that it needs to be. So you set it to that, very close to it. And then at the end of the race, because the slicks don't wear down that much, at the end of the race, that's why you see everybody going offline and picking up the marbles and every bit of dirt you can find so that it raises the car up ever so slightly so when they go to do a ride height test. But in the rain, you don't have that. You can't pick up the rubber from the side of the track and immediately you fail. And a rule's a rule. It fails, that's it, you're back at the grid. But Ingram's on soft tyres from the back. He's got nothing to lose, so I think you'll see an astonishing drive from him.
There's a few guys back there, actually, who are going to be in a similar situation. So I could just hear the cars coming out. Let's go back to Steve and Paul for their final thoughts while I wait for the cars to arrive here on the grid. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Louise. Good to hear from John Cleland. We've got details in on tyre choices for this second race of the afternoon. We've got the likes of Cook, Turkington. Tom Ingram will be on softs as well. What can Tom do from the back of the grid? His adrenaline will be up.
Yeah, it will be. It just depends on how many other people are on the soft tyre as well, to be fair. Yeah, I would think that Tom really hasn't got anything to lose now, like John was referring to when it was wet and dry. The only problem you're going to see, Steve, honestly, is if this... It depends how long this goes on for. This will be better if this delays longer for Tom Ingram because the circuit will get drier, so he's got more places to overtake and pass. But if it's damp down one side and you have to be on that side on a slick tyre to overtake someone, you're going to struggle to get past. So I can just hear and see the cars are actually going out on track, so they'll have a better idea of what's going on. So yeah, Tom Ingram's got to go flat out. The cameras will be on him. He's going to have a good one.
And Ash Sutton, who came in mourning all the bad luck he's had in race threes down through the course of the season, he must be looking at the heavens and saying thank you very much. I mean, it's all fallen in his lap.
Yeah, well, it happens, doesn't it? You know, when you've got a great car and you're doing a great job, and sometimes you can wonder why that you're 6 points, you know, ahead of someone that you should really be 60 points ahead of. It can all just change on its head, and like we said at the top of the show, this is a real topsy-turvy place, and you know, we could be having a chat here in a bit, and Jake Hill could be leaving here as championship leader. We don't know that yet. If he wins this race and Ash has another nightmare, it's all to play for again. But it's the British Touring Car Championship, and Knockhill always surprises me, and I've been here a long time.
Yeah, there is that sort of strange feeling about the day. I mean, a podium finish is a podium finish. Doesn't really matter how you got there. So let's pay credit to Andrew Watson.
Yes.
Second place. I mean, he worked his way up the order as the judicials came in, but second place for Andrew Watson.
Stunning. That car has shown great pace actually all weekend here, which I'm really pleased for the team about, because they have worked hard to get that car up to speed. The other great thing is that car was good. Remember at Donington, the opening round, in the wet conditions, it was very good. So you have to be in that top 10 for something like at the front that's happen, and then you're there. So second place, great for Andrew Watson. He's a real thinker, that kid. I think he's a bit too clever for touring cars, to be honest.
Wears glasses, that's always
exactly.
bad time, isn't it? Yeah. And a great moment of opportunity for Jake Hill as well. He can trim that lead. He might even catch Tom Ingram by the end of the day.
Yeah, it could do. I think he's only 30-odd points off, isn't he? So, yeah, he just needs... I spoke to Jake earlier this morning, and I mean, I'd have been made up if I was third on the grid, for me personally, but he seemed so disappointed when I spoke to him this morning, and it's because he knew this was an opportunity to have maybe 2 wins here, because it's a rear-wheel drive track with soft tyre option. Well, having to use the soft tyre twice, it's a real rear-wheel drive track, so he was really disappointed this morning after qualifying where he did, but I really do think this time he's going to be flying, and if he does this win, he's going to be right back up.
Makes you wonder what other sort of twists the day has. There are possible issues with Jake Hill's car.
Oh, yeah, we can see, can't we, on screen? That looks like a bit of oil or something. That's a Neil Brown technician with the laptop on your left, and there's a bit of smoke. That could be coming from... That could just be coming from the brakes. There could be a bit of
on the top of the engine cover, so it's not looking great.
Oil. And now, oh, actually, no, now that's a TOCA delegate having a look, actually, so...
Yeah, we are hearing there's a little leak, a little oil leak, would that be?
On the circuit,
yeah. And, that doesn't look great, because they're starting to panic now. And that TOCA...
Great, our pole sitter isn't even our pole sitter.
They'll be looking to see whether or not that's a big problem for that grid spot. They don't want oil being put down.
OK, I can see Lou standing there in the background.
Go on, Lou.
Over to you, Lou.
Yeah, I am, and I'm going to dive in and grab a word with Dick Bennett. Dick, I just had a word with you a moment ago, and you said a little leak. What more can you tell us? How much of a concern is that little leak?
No, we've just checked the oil level, no problem. Just the oil cap wasn't on tight, so a little bit leaked out, so no problem at all.
Oh, so few. Really full round then, because you did look a bit concerned. There were quite a few people scurrying around that car.
Don't like seeing smoke coming out of a car, but no, all under control now, so yeah, no problems.
Fantastic. Right, well, shall I dive on round then? Let's carry on round, I think, and grab a word with Jake Hill. Jake, all is well, I've just heard. It's all good. You must be very relieved to hear that.
Yeah, we rocked up into the pit lane there, ready to start the session, and yeah, I was like, hang on a minute, I can see something. I was like, boys, what's that? And yeah, there was just a small oil leak, but we're sorted. What you see there is just burning off on the exhaust, so fingers crossed we're going to be all right.
I mean, this is a fantastic, well, clearly, pole position is a fantastic place to be starting from, but I mean, the day has really come to you so far, hasn't it? Particularly after what wasn't, on the face of it, the best qualifying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've definitely struck lucky in that one. I mean, obviously made the good call, and we ended up second anyway, which was fantastic. And then obviously, unfortunately for Tom, he then failed ride height. For both Toms, I guess, failed ride height, and yeah, obviously it meant I've inherited the win. So obviously fantastic for me. I feel sorry for Tom because he drove a great race, but we just got to make the most of it now. You know, we're on the front. Let's go and do it.
And on what looks like a dry track, I'm just trying to have a look overhead as well, and I can't. Well, there are clouds up there, but they look the right colour, the white fluffy kind. So, what's your weather app saying about weather for this one? Are we expecting more rain?
Yeah, the guy's saying it may rain later, but it looks like we're going to be okay for race 2. So let's just focus on the now and worry about the later.
Fantastic. Right, well done. Right, let's go and have a word with Andrew Watson, who, as the guys were saying earlier on, was very much a beneficiary in that last race, recording his first ever podium position in the British Touring Car Championship. I know there were big smiles at the end of the race, but they must have been even bigger when that actual confirmation of the result came through.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That was the goal, rookie season, to get a podium. So yeah, that was great for the team. Delighted with it. Been a great start to the day, but long way to go.
You really enjoyed the conditions out there in race 1, didn't you? You like the wet.
You and I might have a different interpretation of enjoyment, but I do well in those conditions. I've always liked them, so made the right calls and got a great opportunity for results. So yeah, it's great to be up the front, and really looking forward to this race.
Well, you didn't get to stand on the podium, obviously, after that first race, but you are pretty well positioned for the start of this one. What chances you'll actually be up there spraying some champagne?
Well, luckily we won the Independence Trophy, so I was still allowed on the podium. So yeah, nice to be up there. Look, we need to see, the tracks felt really greasy on that first lap, so just try and get off the line and see what happens. No pressure on my side to be anything special. You have to just take it as it comes.
I'll let you get your head down. Right, slide over now and have a word with Stephen Jelly. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes for Andrew against these two rear-wheel drive BMWs. He's kind of the meat in the sandwich with that one. Stephen, great podium for you.
Yeah, out of nowhere. It's I just made the right call on the tyres, and I'm pretty confident in that. You know, that making the right call. I did it at Donington as well. I got them on and got it to the end, and it was pretty simple, really. So just got to make it pay now.
What's the car going to be like? I mean, I was just talking to Andrew Watson. He said it feels quite greasy out there. What was your feeling on the lap to the grid?
I think it's going to be fine. You know, we had it in qualifying just like this, so we've already been in these conditions, and we're on the soft tyre. So me and Jake are just going to stroke it home to victory.
Well, which one of you, though? Because you're in a tricky situation here, aren't you? Because obviously there's a large part of you who wants to go full on the attack, but there's another part of you that's thinking, hey, that's my teammate up there and he's much further ahead of me in the championship. So how do you balance that?
We'll see. Jake has been pretty ballistic round here all weekend, so you know, you've got to be realistic with it, and I might learn a thing or two following him round. So well, I'm pretty sure he's going to try and disappear, and I'll just try and stick with him, and if he makes a mistake, which he's done a couple of times, you never know.
Great stuff. Have fun out there. Right, I think we've got time for a quick word with Ricky Collard. So let's dive in, say hello to Ricky. Just getting some words of advice from his dad, Rob. In fact, Rob, what are you telling Ricky?
I'm telling him it's his opportunity to get the most amount of points this year. Great starting position. Not to battle with Ash. There's not a lot to gain by battling with Ash. So if he comes through, work with Ash and try and get through. But aim is to get a podium.
Okay, so you're not putting any pressure on. How does it feel then? Your dad's saying, your best chance here, son. Make sure you do it right. I mean, is that words of wisdom and advice, or does you feel like it puts a bit of pressure on you?
That must have been the PG version, because I'm a little bit annoyed sat here right now, bit frustrated. It'd be interesting to see, but I was adamant I got overtaken in that race by someone in front of me under a yellow flag. So it's going to have to be investigated after, because obviously it was a graveyard of cars after that race. But I've got the fire in my belly and I want to go forward. I don't care who's around me, I just want to just race.
Should people be worried, should you be worried about having that fire in your belly? Because that fire in your belly doesn't always play out best for you, does it? I'm sounding like your mum here, but you know what I mean.
Well, you ask the fans what they want to see. Do they want to see me just cruise around and take a podium, or do they want to see me fight with everything I've got to try and get a win? And I've got nothing to lose. You know, we haven't had the best season so far. Had one win taken away from me, a couple of podiums. I'm so determined to just go out there and fight. And yeah, I can see Jake starting on pole position. You know, the BMs are going to be, you know, a little bit tentative on the first couple of laps. Jake's an animal at the starts. And yeah, great to see Andrew Watson and the Vauxhall team up here, but I'm going to be just pushing. I've got nothing to lose, Louise, so.
Oh, the man is in fighting form. We're going to see what happens, how Ricky and everyone else gets on after this quick break.
Yeah, well, ITV go for a break then. We'll stay on the air as always, and there is a slight change to the grid with Ash Sutton now going to 6th place, not 5th. That does change the championship ever so slightly as well, which means all the documents that we've just got opened are completely wrong once again, Omi. It's just, it keeps changing with more and more appeals. Nobody knows what the official result is from the last race yet, and we've got to go racing again.
Yeah, and the big problem being we set the grid from the race 1 results, so it is very, very complicated, but we got a brilliant race, so yeah, hopefully this one will, I'm hoping that this one will be something similar to that, and hopefully that it's not as confusing, but has a lot of drama and has a lot of action as well. So yeah, super excited for this.
Josh T is missing it all once again. Every time he's not down into being the commentary box, it ends up being one of the best races of the year. Ash Sutton then now leads the title, 270 points. Tom Ingram is on 252, so there's an 18-point gap. Not great considering that at the end of race 1, Tom Ingram was leading the championship by 6 points. He's lost an awful lot more delta than what anybody expected. He's going to be on a charge. We've already heard he's starting on the soft tyre. The track is drying. It's 18 degrees. Dry line forming. We're going to see another crazy back-to-front race, aren't we?
Yep, it's going to be a crazy one, and I think we're going to get a lot of chaos with it. Obviously, drivers going on the wet patch, trying to get some moves done, maybe some cars sliding off the road. But hopefully we stay green for the majority of it. Hopefully we do get a lot of action. I think we will with a tiny bit of a mixed-up grid as well. So I think it's going to be an absolute cracker, this one. So touring cars finally getting to how it should be.
Exactly. Do not leave the room. This is going to be a race to... Yeah, Obi's gone. This is going to be a race to remember. Try saying that without a drink. But we're going to throw back over quickly to Steve Ryder. He'll introduce David Addison and Tim Harvey. They'll do an interview with the drivers on the grid, and then we'll come back up, read you through the 27 cars, and get going for another 24 laps around Knockhill. So let's hand back over to Steve Ryder.
After just one race here at Knockhill that already looks as if it could have changed the course of the championship battle, we're all set for another in glorious rural surroundings. It's round 20 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship, and we're back with Tim and David.
It is a dry circuit, pretty much ready for the 20th round of the 30 races within the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. The 2 formation laps are about to get underway. The grid, of course, is based on that race 1 result, with the excluded drivers at the back, but they carry the hybrid deployment that they would have had they kept their positions. In other words, only 5 laps of that hybrid use for Tom Ingram and 7 for Tom Chilton. They don't take the maximum like the drivers around them at the back of the grid do. So they have that limitation as well. So to go back to an earlier question, what can Tom Ingram do? He hasn't got as much hybrid deployment available to him as many of the cars ahead. So it is going to be tough for him, there's no question about it, especially on a short lap that isn't the widest. However, we know that Tom is a proper fighter, and his progress up from the rear of the grid is going to be well worth watching. Drivers very vigorously trying to get the warmth into the tyres. The Knockhill circuit is just over 1.2 miles long, so that's one of the reasons why they're being so vigorous, but it's also, of course, why they get these 2 warming up laps to help get the tyres up to operating temperature. So Jake Hill is the man on pole position, with Andrew Watson with him at the front of the grid. BMW and Vauxhall at the front as we get set for 24 laps.
Here's the grid then for this race. Pole position with Jake Hill. Alongside him is Andrew Watson. Then row 2, Stephen Jelly and Ricky Collard. Row 3, Ronan Pearson and Ash Sutton. Row 4, the grid takes us with Aaron Taylor-Smith and George Gamble. Row 5, Mikey Doble and Dan Lloyd. Row 6 is Colin Turkington and Dexter Patterson. Row 7, Rob Huff and Dan Camish. Row 8, Nick Holstead and Adam Morgan. Row 9, Jade Edwards and Sam Osborne. Row 10 sees Jack Butel alongside Michael Crees. Row 11, Darryl DeLong alongside Aidan Moffat. Row 12 is Rory Butcher and Josh Cook. Row 13, that shows Dan Rowbottom and Tom Ingram. And row 14, Tom Chilton, starting at the back. They've just completed their first warm-up lap as the car's coming across the line. The pit entry was closed earlier on, as you can see, at 14:48. They've been 12 minutes onto the grid during all the delay procedures. Let's go over for an interview as we take a look. Those starting on the mediums for this race, we've got Turkington and Morgan inside the top 16. They're starting on medium tyres. Everybody else is on soft compounds. So Turkington, Morgan, and looking to the next half of the battle screen for Peter we want to see. For start, we're not going to see it. Back over to David Anderson, is into the pit lane. Aidan Moffat, he's going to start from the pits in this race.
The One Motorsport team had a lot of work to do after race one, repairing cars, but great to see they've got him ready to go at the end, but he's going to be on cold tyres, so won't be easy for him at the start.
It's going to be great, Omi, isn't it? There's a lot of anticipation in the air that this is going to be a great race. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. But the field coming up, Jake Hill does start on pole position. He doesn't have an oil problem. Alongside him on the front rail, it's going to be a nice run down towards the first corner. We do not know what's going to happen next. There is so much intrigue as to what turn one could bring. But it's Jake Hill on pole with Andrew Watson second.
Yep, it's gonna be really, really exciting. We don't know what's gonna happen. It could, it could completely be a different race. So it's gonna be really. You go.
Moffat's been released back onto the track. Now the field are coming through the last corner already. So
is it gonna be a bolted start?
Well, the pit lane shouldn't have released him. So I think he's left because look, the car's now coming onto the grid. The red light would have gone on, so he wouldn't be able to leave the pit lane if he comes in on the formation lap. So that's questionable. It's a short lap here, 1.2713 miles. So if he really blasts it, it's good. It's a good idea, but he's not going to be allowed to take his original grid position. Now, if we take a look at the quickly on the battle screen, Moffat did start. I'm trying to look quickly on the time screen where he was. Moffat started 22nd on the grid. He's not going to start 22nd now. He's going to start right at the back of the grid on different tyres. And Moffat has caught up Chilton, so he's got fresher soft tyres now that he's blasted around for a lap. That's a smart move to get some hot tyres.
Yep, very, very smart, but this is going to be interesting as they'll all be getting into position. A long procedure this is with so many cars, but yeah, going to be exciting. Let's hope they all keep it clean and we get a good start once again.
Apparently it was an electrical issue that has hampered Moffat. All systems are go now. It is drying, track temperature, that's 18 degrees. Air temperature 16.7. Moffat's going to line up at the back because he can't get into the pit lane, so he lines up last. Round 20 then of 30 for the QuitFit British Touring Car Championship. We are under starters orders with the 5 red lights. Long hold, but we are go again, and it's a good start from Jake Hill. It's a good start as well coming in from Ricky Collard. It's going to dart to the outside line. Now it becomes the inside line for turn one, and he's immediately dispatched Watson, who's down into 4th place. Stephen Jelly has taken 2nd, but Jake Hill has launched into the attack, into the lead as they come into McIntyre's. Oh, Collard's gone in a bit too deep, but he's lost out to Sutton and Watson and Pearson and Doble as they come through, and there's a little bit of a whack, so he just got the braking wrong on the wet line. Contact! Car off into the barrier already, and it's Jade Edwards. Slight contact, she should be able to get out from that. No, she's beached it, and that's going to be a safety car immediately, with it being in a dangerous part of the track. Pearson coming through as well. We race until we see the safety car boards, of course. So Hill leads, Watson, Jelly, and then we get in there as well. Now the order, Hill, Jelly, Sutton, Watson, and the safety car's out. So now we slow down again, and Jade Edwards getting spun around and punted, and that is a very late call for that safety car to come out, but a dramatic start once again, Omi. Dry line and wet lines causing havoc.
Yeah, causing issues indeed. There's Jade Edwards now getting pushed out off the gravel, but Watson had no purchase or drive off the line. Watson didn't really even get away really too much. Brilliant start there by Hill, who was able to maintain it. And then you're also going to see Collard, who's going to get the inside line. Collard was going to get the place, but he's just going to be super wide then going in as well. So Collard is really going to lose out. But is there going to be any contact at the back? That's what we're also looking for. But it looks like they all maintained it through the opening corner, but we're looking to see where Jade Edwards is going to be hit.
Rowbottom hit the side of Daniel DeLong as well. That was just coming through turn 1. Collard got a wiggle on coming down through Duffer's Dip, coming into McIntyre's, and he locked the rear tyre. That's why he went off the track and lost 2 positions. Sutton in that Napa Ford made a demon start. Now look further back, because Jade Edwards is in the one motorsport car, and she will get told in the middle zone of the braking. Let's take a look. She's at the top of your picture in the grey and yellow car. There it is. She gets hit off by the 77. So that's Osborne. So she gets a hit from the side of Osborne, who jumps across the curb, and that's not her fault. She got hit into by the Napa.
Yeah. But safety car as kind of we expected with how much chaos it was. As well.
She's got going.
But yeah, Jade Edwards back on the circuit in the 99. So yep, the safety car should be coming in. I'm guessing this lap then, unless there's any kind of procedure they have to follow.
Not as far as I know. In fact, the safety car should be in this lap. It's just let Jake Hill through, according to our timing monitors up here in the commentary box, as it's jumping through the systems. Safety car is out then. The race will be extending. Now, it came on the opening lap, we're now on lap 3, so it should be a 2-lap extension to the race. Let's take a look at the deltas at the timing screens at the moment. Hill, Jelly, Sutton, Watson, Pearson, Taylor Smith, Collard, Lloyd, Gamble, Doble, the top 10. Not a bad start there. Who was the biggest winner on that start? Cook up 5 places. I think that's it. Right, not a bad start. Safety car not coming in. Safety car is in this lap. We will go green.
Okay. So gonna be super interesting. Sorry, I was just replying to a message because I'm getting spammed.
I'm getting spammed as well. So it's like taking a deep breath as they come through. Right, start 2 then. To round 20 of the touring cars out of the last corner. Look at the Hill.
Hill is massively clear.
She's jumped Jelly. That's his teammate as well, the BMW. Cross the line we go. The race restarts now. A 26-lap race. It gets extended to. Flashing the lights through Ronan Pearson there as Sutton looks to get through on Jelly. If Sutton takes the win here, that is going to be absolutely just detrimental to the championship standings, because it would put him... I'm trying to have a think, actually, how many points it would be. A total of 39 to 42 points ahead, depending on whether he gets the fastest lap and leads the lap, of course. 21 for a win, plus 1 lap for leading, plus another for fast laps. There's 21 to 23 points available for a race win. It's currently got 18-point difference, so it could be in there too. As we see more drama, Sutton's overtaken Jelly, Taylor Smith's overtaken Watson, so is Pearson, and it's all going mad into Taylor's hairpin. 3 cars side by side. Watson's getting absolutely mugged. Pearson's trying to go to the inside of Taylor Smith as they come up the hill once more, down towards Duffer's Dip. Pearson checks to the outside line. Taylor Smith's on his hybrid power. Collard's up there as well with Watson. Doble, Gamble, Turkington, Cavish in a little bit of a battle as well. 4 wide as they come down into Duffer's Dip, through Leslie's, into McIntyre's in the braking zone for turn 3, into Butcher's at the curve, and Taylor Smith still in 4th position, and this is Ash Sutton overtaking Jelly on the inside, and just like we saw this morning, Amy, 2 wheels, and up he goes.
Yeah, Sutton getting a move done, but Hill was just massively clear. Like Hill just got the start. Like Hill just fully got that restart, and you had Jelly just nowhere near as well, as they continue all battling through the field as well. So they're all really going crazy in this race. This is exactly what we want in the touring cars.
Oh, Doble locks up the rear brakes as well in that Vauxhall. The BMW Turkington trying to go right around the outside. I've never seen this before. The safety car restart is under investigation.
Oh,
that was Turkington. That's Turkington. What's happened to Colin? Turkington's dropped back into 14th, 15th position, 16th position. What's happened to Colin Turkington? Now this is it. I said about the Vauxhall locking up the rear tyre. That's going to be Doble. Is there contact between the two at the exit? No, it's Gamble forcing Turkington off. He jumps over the curb and loses a little bit of position. So that's Turkington outside the points into 16th. The man is 4th in the championship. So really, this weekend is affecting Turkington and affecting Ingram the most. It's benefiting Hill and Sutton. They're 1-2 at the moment, but Sutton is closing in 51.369. He hasn't used, well, he's used 1 of 11 laps of hybrid because he's got maximum power, and that is Rowbottom into the pit lane as well, and he's got a lap down. So Dan Rowbottom into, so 2 of the nappers having a bad race. The other one's there of Osborne as Cook goes right round the outside of Turkington. Turkington's going to fight back with the BMW power on the inside line as they run up the hill towards Duffer's Dip, but Cook's got him. Turkington can't do anything. Look at Rowbottom. He's having to literally just let the field go through or have a blue flag. Jake Hill is the driver, I understand, under investigation. He went before the safety car entered the pit lane, so he's jumped the restart.
Yep, Butcher there trying to make a move on Turkington as well. And they're all really trying to make some moves. There's Turkington also trying to get past Cook. And I think Butcher might have it now. He's going to have to try and go for this. They're going to go wheel to wheel. And also there'll be some side-by-side ahead as well. But a lot of action straight away in this touring cars. Sutton is closing in on Hill. So that's going to be an interesting battle of P1. But they're all battling still as Turkington tries to stay ahead of Crease as well as they battle through.
And it's up front as well because there's more battling, as you said, as that's Holstead trying to go through on the outside line of Osborne, and now that's going to put Josh Cook side by side with Sam Osborne as well, and then Upper Ford as they run up the hill as well. Now Cook's got more power to use as well in towards the braking zone. He's in a rebuild car and he doesn't want to get taken out for a second time today by Napa, and he shuts the door. Look at Butcher further behind, defending from Holstead, and Turkington's just dropping back massively. Butcher's locked up again, and I'm trying to work out where this all is in the timing screen. So it's Cook 15th, Osborne 16th, Butcher, Turkington, Ingram. So Turkington's dropped down 7 places. Ingram's moved up, and now he's in a direct battle with the man he's fighting for this championship. This is an amazing race too. It's been helped by the chaos of race 1 and all the changes that happened. Black and white flag for car 777. That's Michael Crease, but big lockup. Can he get Osborne get it stopped? Osborne just gets it stopped. And sorry, that's Camish. It's Dan Camish. It's the 27. It's not the 77, it's the 27. Dan Camish coming in all locked up into Taylor's hairpin. He nearly runs into the back of the 17 as well of Dexter Patterson, and now he's getting through an Adam Morgan in towards turn 1 at Duffer's Dip. Amazing stuff happening, but it's the tyres. They don't know how they're going to react. Half the field on softs, half the field on mediums.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of paint or bodywork flying off there as well as they're all battling through. Something did come off the car as well, but yeah, Sutton closing in and they're still battling. They're everywhere you look. What is going on in this touring car race? Being helped, as you said, by all of the chaos currently going on as well. But incredible there. Currently this race, that's Cook also making a move to the inside in the number 66, but a lot of battling and oh, what is going on? Lap 10, we still have a lot. We have plenty of laps to go, and it's absolutely kicking off here.
The drying track is giving everybody the advantage they need as well to let these soft tyres come into their natural. Those are the mediums. That's Morgan, Cook, Butcher, Turkington, Moffat, and Jade Edwards. They'll come into the battle later on in the race when the track is at its best. Right now, the soft tyres have their runners, as everybody else in the field, by the names I just mentioned. And this is getting quite chaotic now. In fact, let's just confirm. I'll see if I can highlight them. Those on the medium compound tyre for you. I can. That just makes it a little bit easier for you to spot them on the timing screen. So those highlighted on the timing tower, they have the medium compound tyre. Everybody else on softs.
Yep, you have Collard here currently giving chase to Taylor Smith as well, who's going to have to defend this. And this battle's we cut away now from that battle because there's a lot.
BMW.
It's a car slow.
That's Morgan. That's Adam Morgan. BMW is slow, and Adam Morgan in the 3rd of the West Surrey Racing Team BMW is stopping, and he's coming into the pit lane. There's bodywork damage just been displaced by Jade Edwards. Rowbottom goes through. He's got a damaged panel. I'm trying to have a look. It could be the rear left axle that looks a little bit off. For Morgan, but that's another retirement out, as now the two at the front battling. Hill has only got 6 laps of hybrid power. He's used 1 of those. Sutton has 11 laps. He's used 5 of those. So he is properly pushing. Sutton very rarely has the hybrid power, so he's using it to make that already quick napper even faster.
Yeah, very quick. But however, it's not really going well for some BMW, is it? Everyone driving the BMW. But let's see how it goes for Hill as well. But let's take a look at a replay. I did see some bodywork flying off, so let's see.
That's cool.
This might just be a move. Yeah, this might just be a simple move, unless that is basically just a simple move. But it's now kicking off for the race lead as well. And I love how they just ride these curbs here.
Up at the black circle chicane, just jump over as well, 2 wheels. And to think that the British Superbike Championship used this circuit as well, and off! Sliding round, that's going to be Ricky Collard. He tries to defend from the outside of Ronan Pearson coming into Clark's. Pearson's on the outside line, and somehow Ricky Collard just is able to hold off the defence there. Some spectacular stuff. Black and white flag for car 42 as well. That's George Gamble for track limit warnings.
Yeah, Collard is really pushing. He's been having a few lockups. So yeah, Collard struggling to keep it on the road, but now he's going to have to try and chase after Taylor Smith as well. Right ahead now once again, but he's got to start, but Sutton's going to absolutely try his best as we now are seeing some side-by-side momentarily until we cut away from it. But halfway now in this race, and there's a lot of action still going on. Is that Ingram?
Oh, Ingram, oh, they're battling, and Ingram gets touched by Butcher. Butcher touches the rear lower left. And Ingram just about makes the position. Butcher now under attack from Rob Huff. Huff's on the inside line, coming up the hill. Now, he raced in one full season back in 2004. So last time he raced at Knockhill, and he's just taken too much curb through the black circle chicane. Has lost so much ground, about 0.2 of a second. That's going to allow Turkington to slip through back on the inside line. And here comes Sam Osborne in the other Napa Ford coming in as well. So Huff makes one mistake, and through goes Turkington.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Now Turkington having to go defensive as well, and just defending into the apex under 1 second for the race lead. So that's going to now start kicking off while wait for that to kick off. But there's a lot of battling, as I said, in the mid pack, and they're all squabbling like crazy. As Turkington, I think, is going to maybe try and move as well. And Butcher is going to have to maybe defend this going into turn 1.
And we didn't see that on the camera screen. We're watching as well as Cook tried to have an attack on the 17 of Patterson. Did Turkington make the move? Yes, he did. Turkington has passed Rob Huff. So Turkington didn't make the move, as now we're seeing Josh Cook battling on the inside line and gets ahead, locks up, coming into Clark's and gets ahead of Dexter Patterson. So a little bit of a lock-up on a track you don't use a lot of brakes at, bar the Taylor's hairpin. So Patterson trying to look around the outside, not going to work out. Cook late on the brakes, locks the rear axle again, and there is Jake Hill leading the gap now, 0.9 of a second according to our timing towers. As you can see back at home as well, it's Hill, Sutton, Jelly coming through the top 3, but in the top 2 batting. And look at Sutton, he's many of those curves. He's a maniac as it's door mirror to door mirror for Turkington on the inside of Butcher, who's got a damaged front wheel panel, and Turkington goes through. He's back into the points.
Yeah, Sutton really attacking all those curves and really getting close to the wall as well. He's really aggressive as Sutton as well. So it's going to be interesting. Let's hope that Hill and him don't collide. But yeah, a lot of curb being used, but Sutton being really aggressive with it.
Turkington made a mistake coming out of the chicane as well, and through Brabham's had to make a correction. This is now into Clark's through the long sweeping left at Hislops before the tight right at Taylor's hairpin. Turkington still ahead. As they break, there's Rob Huff, still as racy as ever, a former British touring car driver, a world touring car driver, champion of course, and Rob Huff very much enjoying his return. Whether he'll make it permanent, we don't know, but we hope he does, and that is Ingram. Oh, losing the rear. You saw the onboard camera as well, how much oversteer he had to go in to correct that. Brilliantly drived, but that is Ingram in a battle with Camish over 13th position.
Yeah, now Sutton also closing in now somewhat as well to now try get past Hill. He's really being aggressive. He's got to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake. They've all got to make sure that they basically don't make a mistake. But this is a replay.
Whoa, Hill!
Ooh.
Hill, 2 wheels at the exit of the Black Circle chicane. A super slow-mo. Dorna would be proud of. That was spectacular. And no wonder Hill lost 0.2 of a second to that last lap on to Sutton.
Yeah, we were saying Sutton's doing it, now Hill's also doing it as well, so they're both doing it. And they're getting
He's done it
really, really
again.
close, and he's doing it again as Hill, getting all the way out wide, and they're really trying to maximize the time. But sometimes you gain, sometimes you lose, so you got to make sure that you gain every time, and he's running a tiny bit wide, but this is going to be massive pressure for Hill. He's going to be all under pressure by Sutton now.
Sutton is going to be using this next couple of laps as well as like a magnet. As well, he's just going to be latching onto the back of the BMW. He's going to save as much hybrid power use he can as they accelerate up the hill towards Duffer's Dip, which is turn number 1. Lap 18 of 26. Hill leads by 0.8 of a second to Sutton. It's visibly closing as they attack the sausage curbs down through Leslie's into McIntyre's as well. Turn 3. Hill uses the front-wheel drive BMW to grip the inside line. The rear steps out, but it's just getting a little bit chaotic because that's Ingram now side by side. That's Ingram being passed. Ingram has been passed once more by Patterson. And Ingram now back into turn 1, makes that move completely stick. Patterson trying to go around the outside. He was leading across the line. It didn't work out. And that was Collard taking 2 wheels. But we're watching Rob Huff take 2 wheels. Watson go through. There's Gamble. And I think this is just a replay of everybody just taking 2 wheels.
Oh yeah, that's an enjoyable replay. I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying seeing that. But for a second, I thought it was raining for some reason.
I thought it was raining at one point as well, actually, so you're not on your own there. Well, the rain just surprised us earlier on. All of a sudden, we just cut to a camera shot. Oh, by the way, it's monsoon weather. So Hill versus Sutton once again in this championship. Sutton has won 7 times this year. Jake Hill's only won 3 as well. Sutton's been he's been second 4 times. Hill has been second also 4 times. So the joint there. Sutton having a massive snap through the chicane. The front end of that car, the Napa Ford, just twitching with it being a front-wheel drive car. They're climbing up these hills, and Sutton is now on his hybrid power. You can see the blue light flashing behind the 116 as Hill tries to attack the gap down to half a second in towards Taylor's hairpin. I won't be surprised if we see a manoeuvre soon from Sutton.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to have a chance. He'll need to be late on the brakes, but if he wants to make it on this occasion, but he's definitely staying close now.
Down towards turn 1 at Duffer's Dip. Hill knows he's got to drive defensive. There are 7 laps to go, including the long, at 20-26. In towards McIntyre's. Sutton is ready for a pounce. Out through into Butchers. And now up into the black circle chicane. Jumps over 1, jumps over 2. Sutton gets a little bit of a correction. Hill was a little bit off. There goes the flashing lights for Sutton into Clark's. Hill takes a slower line in, actually, and that allows Sutton to get a little bit of a better exit.
Yeah, Sutton's been getting so Sutton's been getting better exits, so it's really going to be helpful for him as he's now going to look for the race lead.
Sutton looks left, looks right, tries to go around the outside line down at Taylor's hairpin. He's going to have to make a swift change of direction. He does so. Hill again makes defensive lines easy, coming out of the course as they run up the hill. Lap 21 begins now. Hill leads across the line by 0.5 of a second to Sutton, as once again we're in for a close finish. 2 days running. Through now into the braking zone.
Yeah, absolutely perfect there by Hill. He was able to defend that and also make Sutton lose some time. So he needs to keep doing that. But Sutton, at some point, is going to go for that late send. He's going to find the inside line. So he's got to be careful that he doesn't give it, as now they're all taking the chicane really, really aggressive. And they're getting so close also to the inside barrier. So this is now going to be who can minimize those mistakes and who can push all the way to the end.
Hill slides at the rear, and this is on board as well. That's Butel just ahead of us with Michael Kreese. And Butel gets a little bit of a tap, trying to see who that was from. Holstead. So Holstead taps the back of Butel. Out of Taylor's hairpin once more. Sutton gets a little bit of an attack, but he's slow at the exit. Hill's going to have the run up the line. The BMW's got the better drag to get that car faster. And Sutton just can't seem to do anything about it. So we wing in towards turn number 1. Big lock up from Hill. Hill, big lock up. And he's going to make a mistake. So Hill has to really capitalise. Those soft tyres are changing again, Omi, and now that's going to give Sutton the advantage. Right, I'm putting the pressure on him.
He's got to be careful once again. Oh, Sutton!
Sutton completely cuts the course as well as Ingram goes side by side with the 42 of Gamble, and Ingram goes through into 10th position. Gamble down to 11th, but Sutton completely missed the chicane and jumped over the second part.
Yeah, Sutton, wow. Sutton really being aggressive, and they're really not cutting the chicane fully. It really is not going to kill them, because Sutton really needs to get all the way glued up all onto the back of Hill. So he's really being on the attack. He's really now trying to get this move done. On to lap number 23 we go. Hill's got to keep defending. Sutton's got to keep attacking and try to force Hill into a mistake.
Black and white flag for car 1, track limits. Black and white flag, car 27, that's Dan Camish for track limits. Car 1, that is, of course, Tom Ingram, the 27, Dan Camish, as they come through the 16 and the 96 also getting there as well. And that was Hill making a bit of a scraping noise. Camera hasn't changed over as we see Stephen Jelly. That's how far back he is as well. 11.923 to Sutton, 12.6 to Hill as he comes through the chicane. Forget that action. We need to see what's happening in the front. Hill and Sutton on hybrid power. Hill on it slightly longer.
Yeah, got
2
7
tenths.
tenths and then it's 2 tenths.
0.291 across the line. You can see them on the driver tracker how close they're getting as well. There is that is Dan Camish trying to go. That is now going to be the battle out Collard chasing Aaron Taylor Smith. Smith goes on defence, and this is the battle for the lead. Lap 24, 26, and Sutton's going to try and go on the outside line in towards McIntyre's. Hill keeps it nice on the defence, but Sutton has just got so much more speed as they come through the chicane once more. Sutton is almost off on 2 wheels. Never mind that, he's nearly on 1 wheel coming through that part of the track. He's losing so much time, but he's staying with Hill using the hybrid power. He's
staying with Hill and he's going to have a chance.
He's on it now, and he's going to have a go into Taylor's hairpin. Looks left, has to settle on the outside line, and it's wheel to wheel. Hill gets the exit. Sutton's going to try and go right around the outside and gets shut off by the curve. Hill had a better exit though. He'll be able to control it.
He has a chance now. Maybe he can make it. He can maybe now be late on the brakes and try maybe go for this move. He's gonna have to be brave, and he can't go for it. He's playing it safe right now, but around the penultimate lap, he's gonna have to find a way through. But Hill's covering the inside by every single opportunity. Sutton's literally hitting him from the back.
Hill's brake testing him. He's trying to minimise what effect Sutton gets out of the corners. Hill literally being so slow. You can almost sense Ash Sutton's frustrations at Jake Hill here. He's practically going to be flashing the lights, beeping the horn they've got in the car as well. Sutton over 2 wheels. Hill again trying to defend, but he's going 3 tenths and now he's using hybrid power. Sutton isn't. Sutton's only got 1 more lap of hybrid power to use, and he's saving that for the last lap. But they're going to go level for the last one.
Do you have a horn in this car?
A little bit, yeah, just for when they go to the grid. Oh, and Turkington's in the wall! Turkington's in the wall! And that's his championship hopes completely dashed! Now, is that going to bring out a safety car? It is the last lap. I'm trying to see where he's gone off. I think it's in turn 7. That's at Clark's. So that might be the end of the race. Unless it's a turn 4. Well, Jade Edwards has stopped in sector 1, unless it's a multi-car pile-up. Can't see it. No, Jade's in the pit lane. Final lap the call. Hill might be saved. There's a Napa stop to the side of the track. Sutton is flashing his lights. Hill on the defence once more. We race on until the checkered flag. It's going to be Taylor's hairpin or not. They're both on hybrid power. Sutton again over the brakes. He's looking left. He's looking right. He's going to settle for the outside manoeuvre. He lands on the brakes. Rear brakes not working too well. Hill gets the better exit. Sutton's going to try the comeback. Jake Hill uses the BMW grunt out of the last corner of Taylor's hairpin. Swiftly up the hill and wins a great race 2 at Knockhill. Sutton second by 0.3 of a second, and Stephen Jelly will come home to take a tremendous 3rd position here for a fantastic close race 2. Best race of the season, Hill v Sutton, and for the first time this year in a direct fight, the Nappers have been defeated, this time by the BMW. The grunt usually comes from the Nappers, now it's the BMW, and Huff has passed Butcher and Chilton. Can he hold off to the line for another double points finish as well? It's going to be side by side. Who gets in the line? Rob Huff is 14th, Butcher 15th. The last point, Chilton's out of it. Ingram fall back to a top 10 finish as well. Turkington out of the race has cost him a championship hunt, but Jake Hill puts himself right back in championship contention with victory in round 20 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, this is now a replay of Camish trying to get past Doble as well.
That's
This is what happened. Turkington getting spun around there. And, unfortunate for Turkington. But yeah, as you said, that blows any chance of a title for him.
And that's why there is a Napa. It's a broken front right suspension for Camish. Yeah. That's why he was parked at the side of the track there, look.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why he was off the side of the track, out completely.
Did he get a hit there from the back as well?
By the 17 of Patterson. Hill and Sutton congratulate each other on a great race. And that really was a great race. Utter respect between the two. And it is Jake Hill, winner of round 20 of the QuidFit British Touring Car Championship. Here's Turkington. His championship hopes at the moment in there. There are now 9 races left in the touring cars, and the championship once again has changed. Jake Hill wins after 26 laps from Sutton, Jelly, Taylor Smith, Lloyd, Collard. Then we get Pearson, Cook, Watson, Ingram, the top 10. Gamble, Doble, Patterson, Huff, Butcher, the last point. Chilton, Osborne, Crees, Moffat, Butel. Then it's Holstead, DeLong, Rowbottom, and out of the race, Camish, Turkington, Edwards, and Morgan. A fantastic race here for the QuidFit British Touring Car Championship. It never, ever failed to deliver. Ash Sutton now leads the championship by 30 points. Jake Hill and Tom Ingram level on points now, 258 each. Turkington, 59 points back. Dan Camish gets himself into championship contention, 74 back now as well. But Jake Hill v Tom Ingram, Ash Sutton, 30 points clear with 3 weekends remaining in the QuidFit British Touring Car Championship, and still another race to go here. Round 21 up later. Question is, will Hill pass the road test? This is what we need to see.
Yeah, in touring cars, this is the most. In the touring car, this is one of the more important parts as well. After the race, you got to make sure that he passes it.
Looks like he has. All good. Thumbs up. And Jake Hill wins round 20 of the QuidFit British Touring Car Championship by 0.374 of a second, as you can see. Sutton got the fastest lap, so that gave him an extra bonus point, a 51.369 at the line. Hill revs up the car. Alan Hyde is standing by to talk with him as well. A dramatic round 20. And what will the reverse grid bring? We'll find out. We'll hear from our top 3 as Hill gets out of the car, and we'll be ready as well to decide who starts on reverse grid pole. And ITV come back from the break. Let's cross over then to Toka Trackside Radio.
You can fail the right height check. Thanks very much to John Cleland for coming up with the comms box as well. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
And it's a really simple test as well. It's basically like a paint roller on a long stick, and you place it under the front of the car, you roll it under the front of the car, all the way along, across the entire width of the front of the car, and I think the side of the car as well, but certainly the front of the car, that's the bit that I see. And it's that simple, the physics, it's that simple.
Happened to Ronan Pearson, didn't it? In his first weekend in touring cars, he got on the podium, he got 3rd, and then after, he even celebrated on the podium. Afterwards, the car had failed the right height check because he changed the wet tyre, and the car was just that little bit lower. Because, of course, you change into the wets in the middle of the race. If you change to the wets before the race, you can.
Oh, just a little bit of an error. Let's go back.
So I'm very glad that was over, that's for sure.
We were worried when you came up to the grid and the car was smoking.
Yeah, me too. But
yeah, I bet you were.
No, the boys did a good job. It burnt itself off in the end, so we're happy.
I looked at Dick Bennett's. I asked Dick Bennett's. He wasn't troubled, so I thought we're going to be fine.
Yeah, if Dick's cool, you know it's all right.
Car's going well today, isn't it?
It's all right, mate. It's all right. It's not the fastest thing here, but you know, let's be honest, we've been playing second fiddle all year, so it's nice to get one up on them.
If you can keep Ash at bay, the car's going all right.
Yeah, quite exactly that.
Top man, Jake. Well done. Many congratulations. I can't get out. Can I squeeze past you, Jake? Mate. There we go. And see if I can get a word with an emerging Stephen Jelly. He does come back the victor. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. Dick Bennett is the cheerleader for this. And that's good to see the smiling eyes of Stephen Jelly. Because 24 hours ago, his eyes weren't smiling. A hug with Jake. I'm getting in the way of everybody. And off comes the helmet, the hands device, off comes the balaclava. 24 hours ago, that wasn't a smile, Stephen. What a difference a day makes.
Unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. It only could happen at Knockhill. Obviously, yeah, I made the right choice on the tyres in race 1. Massively disappointing with qualifying yesterday because...
Okay, we haven't heard from the top 3 yet, so we're going to throw back to Lewis Goodman in a minute.
And then just brought it home, you know, Ash and Jake, they had mega pace. Yeah. And yeah, the safety car, I left the, you know, he caught me out. Jake caught me out. He got such a mega gap. I thought, oh, I've given him a bit of a favour here, but... and then just drove it home. But, you know, car's great. Looking forward to race 3.
It's going to be nice to have you back on the podium proper.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Okay, let's go down then and hear from Louise.
Steve just saying maybe one of the best races of your career. What would you say?
Well, we just thought, I think me and Ash thought we would repeat last year, seeing as it was so good. But no, I mean, yeah, a huge thank you to Laser Tools Racing with ME Motorsport. They've done an enormous job over this weekend, and, you know, the car's going well. You know, it might not be the fastest thing out there, but it's going more than well enough, you know. But, yeah, a huge thank you to them. And, yeah, it's just... yeah, credit where it's due.
I don't know whether it was your teammate playing a blinder and holding back a bit, or just you were absolutely on it with the restart. But you had a lovely gap then. What was going through your mind as you saw this fella behind gradually closing it down?
Well, the first few laps, I thought, you know, the gap's not really changed. You know, once he got past, he came at me a little bit, and then it stabilised for like 3 or 4 laps. I thought, sweet, we're just going to keep doing this. And then I messed up the chicane a couple of laps in a row, and he's so good through there, and you know, he just reeled me in. So. Made it a little bit more challenging, but then the last couple of laps there just broke away enough just to give myself a little bit of breathing space. And yeah, I mean, my tyres were just killing themselves, to be honest. So I'm glad we lasted the race.
It looked from the body language and the car body language as you came in that the pair of you actually really enjoyed that battle.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it was fairly clean, you know. Ash gave me a couple of little touches, but hey, we are touring car racing. At least he didn't turn me around. So yeah, it's just been awesome. But I've got to say, I hope get well soon to Ian Morris, one of my personal sponsors from Logical. He's not very well, so yeah, I hope he gets well soon.
I'm sure that's going to make him feel a lot better. Well done, 2 out of 2. Congratulations. Ash, from P6 on the grid, that's exactly the result you want. Well, not quite the result you wanted, but a pretty perfect result.
Well, if I'm honest, I thought Jake had that 100% sewn up. So, yeah, we were aiming for second regardless. And I got second a bit quicker than I planned. And I thought, I'll give it a go and see what we've got in the tank. And I think for initially, we were sort of similar. Then we started to chip away. Then a few mistakes started to come through a chicane, which was like sort of deja vu of last year in race 2. And so I thought I'd give him a little cheeky flash every now and again just to remind him of last year. But look, fair play, he hung on there. We both were ragging the hell out of him. So it was a mega result from Napa Racing UK to claw that back after when it looked like race 1 was upside down for us at one point, and to come away with a second, it's great, can't complain.
I was wondering about that because it looked like you were having a little game going on there. But to be fair to Jake, you had a couple of moments yourself there, so...
I missed that last bit, Louise.
I said, to be fair to Jake, you had a couple of moments yourself there as well.
Well, yeah, for sure we shouldn't have been able to hang on to the BM round here especially. So I was probably at 105% if I'm honest with you. So I had a few mistakes in there, and especially second to last lap, which allowed Jake to get the gap back. But look, I'm just pleased. I'm just over the moon. It was nice to have a bit of fun.
Race 3 coming up.
I think it's a question what the gods are going to do up there. But wet or dry, I'm happy with the car. Car's good. We're all going to be on the medium. No one's driven it. See what we've got to play for.
Cool. See you out there. And let's bring in the man who almost got the biggest cheer, I have to say, as he pulled into Parc Fermé. The team loved that. I bet you did too.
Yeah, it was great. You know, a bit disappointed with yesterday, and then it's all come good today. You know, only at Knockhill can a weird situation turn into something great. So really happy. Happy for Jake getting the win and holding Ash off. So more of the same.
It was a bit of a lonely race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. The car's in one piece and we're good to go again. So, and we seem to have the pace on the cars behind, even without the hybrid, which is good because obviously I won't have a lot of it in the next one. So we'll see how we go and onwards and upwards, yeah.
How much of a difference will that make for race 3, going down on the hybrid?
Well, the good thing is I managed to ditch my medium tyres in race 1 and nobody else on the grid has done that. So I think I'm going to be the only car on soft tyres. So, you know, that is more of a performance gain than the hybrid loss. So I'm not so fussed.
The ace up your sleeve. Look forward to seeing how that goes. Right, well, we look forward to seeing where Stephen and everyone else starts for race 3 as well. So let's go over to Steve for the reverse grid draw.
Thank you, Lou, and congratulations, Jake. Jake, that was such a contrast to your first race win. That is one you're going to cherish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good, you know. I mean, me and Ash had an amazing fight here last year, if everyone remembers, you know, in races 1 and 2, and I think we both thought, it's just us again, let's have round 2, you know, and yeah, it was an awesome race, wasn't it? I'm, you know, thoroughly happy. I've obviously ended up on top. It's nice to get my second double win of the year. You know, I had first at Alton and now here. So, yeah, but I love it round here, Steve. You know, it's such a mega track, and you know the laser beamer is going really well at the moment. So, yeah, thrilled with that one. That was good.
And the next important step concerns the draw here. Let's remind everyone at home that in the drum here we've got the drivers, or numbers related to the drivers who finished 6th through 12. So that's Ricky Collard, who came in 6th, Ronan Pearson 7th. Number 8 will relate to Josh Cook. Number 9, Andrew Watson. Number 10, Tom Ingram. Number 11, George Gamble. And Mikey Doble is number 12. OK, give him a stir and make the draw.
Here we go. We're going in. Oh, this table's a bit high, Steve.
I'm hanging on to everything here.
Oh, what's it going to be? 7.
It is number 7.
Number
you
7.
have put Ronan Pearson on to pole position.
That's good. Fellow Scotsman,
all right.
yeah. Off Scotsman, off we go.
Quick thought about race 3 and everything that surrounds race 3 with you and Ash and Jake and everything. You need to bag big points here as well, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, you know, yeah, we need to have a clean one in this one, Steve. You know, I mean, obviously me and Ash are next to each other. Tom is going to be now just behind us if he's 10th. So there's a lot still to do for this one, and we clean fight and try and score some good points.
On the evidence of that last race, you can keep anyone behind you by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Well done, that was a great win.
Thank you.
Jake Hill, double winner today, and he has put Ronan Pearson, number 7, on to pole position.
Thank you very much, Steve. OK, well, I think that we're going to be in for an absolutely thrilling race later on, Omi. Literally, so much going on. I don't know what's going to happen next. What a race 2.
What a brilliant race 2. Race 2 was kind of like a mixed up grid as well, but obviously Sutton and Hill find their way to the, well, obviously Hill starting P1, but Sutton finding his way up there, and we got a brilliant battle, so yeah. But race 3, once again, mixed up grid. Let's see if they can find their way back up all the way to the top, and it really is going to be a fantastic race. All 3 races, I think this, so basically I think all 3 races, yeah, so I think race 3 is going to be an absolute cracker. So really looking forward to this. And race 1 was good, race 2 was good as well, and race 3 I think is going to be a banger as well.
We'll be back on air at 5 o'clock for all of the action from round 21 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Omi. Thank you very much, everyone at home. We will be back at 5, but it's a Scott on pole for the last race of the day. But it is Jake Hill who's done the double here so far at Knockhill. Best weekend. It's putting him back into title contention. One more race to go then. Join us at 5 o'clock to find out how it goes. Take care. Bye-bye.